we cleaned it up the other day. Then players had recovery yesterday, and then today will be shells. It'll be a little longer, but just good competition against each other. And then we'll have a walkthrough with the Indianapolis Colts. For the Indianapolis Colts tomorrow, we leave, and then, man, we get real good work against those guys. So we're looking forward to that. But everything really is working to that these next 2 days to have really good work. That's what all this has been about post-game. It's just, you can almost it feels like you're getting 2 games in a week, 2 games in 2 days. You won't have all those reps, but yet we're going to get over 30 reps with our starters, against very good competition, full pads, and it's structured, between Frank and myself, man. We'll get all the looks we need to get, all the situations. It'll just be good, and that they're a good team over there. They know how to win. It's a winning program. Chris Ballard and Frank do it right, and that team's, man, they're tough. So this will be great. It's going to be great for us. I can't wait. Yes.
As a coach or as a player?
Both.
What did you get out of it as a player?
It was a player, you learn how to fight. So back in the day when I was, you learn that you always get involved. That's one. And two is you learn, you keep your head on a swivel, but, now, that was early in my career. When I got to Dallas, I remember we were getting ready to we're going to practice against the Texans. I remember Coach Parcells stood up in front of the room and was like, no fighting. Anybody fights, you're done. And everybody believed it. So we didn't have one fight and got great work. So we just have to make an emphasis of that. I know they will, we will. We're not out there to fight, but we're going to compete and have good work. So I would say most of the experiences I've had have been really good. Really good.
Generally speaking, when you turn on the tape from this game, did anybody catch your eye? Maybe they didn't in live action. You were looking for guys to step up under the lights. Did anybody catch your eye?
Well, look, I would say Kirby showed up. I would say Kirby, didn't quite know where he was going to be at or what it was going to look like. And, we've been on his rear in practice. I mean, we've been pretty hard on him. And now he's needed it. But he showed up. I mean, the lights came on, and he did some things on special teams and on defense that is extremely encouraging, I would say Rodriguez didn't disappoint. He's got a lot of room for improvement, but yet you can tell that it's not too big for him, which is good. I think those are 2 guys that really kind of come to mind a little bit. There was a number of guys that I thought played pretty well, and showed up. Certainly Hutch made some plays there. I thought Mac did a good job, stepped up and did pretty good. So, no, I think the first one that came to my mind was Kirby.
Chase Lucas, he didn't get many snaps, but maybe made the most of those. The defensive ones, that is. Mm-hmm. I know you talked about his special teams early in camp. How about defensively? What has he shown you at cornerback and at safety?
Listen, he's a tough, pretty smart, pretty aware, high energy type player, and he got out there and mixed it up. I think with Lucas, man, he needs to be in the program a little bit. And what I mean by that is, man, get a little more bulk and strength to him, which will come in time. But he's got something about him. There is something, because he gets things in a hurry. He's highly competitive. I know, he was sick to his stomach. He didn't catch that pick. That would have sealed it. But yet he did everything that he was supposed to do to that point. They did a great job with the disguise. He did. They got the quarterback to kind of bite on it and threw it to him, and so we're in position. We just got to finish it. But I like where he's at. He's doing some good things, but some of this is just him continuing to develop physically. That's going to take time once he's in our program. Listen, he did some good things. It was encouraging. We came out of this game encouraged with Jeff. It was like, okay, this is pretty good. Just to see him get up there and press a little bit, challenge, and then, man, he's getting involved in some of these tackles. And so I would say we were encouraged. That's the best way to say it. It was encouraging.
How about Friday progress you've seen from him coach? What does he do specifically that's continually impressing and giving him a chance?
He's stepping up. He's made big strides. You know, I would say it's almost spring. We were actually hoping for a little bit more of a jump than we got. Now he did a good job, but man, we get him in camp, and now the pads come on, and he's really growing, and he's really growing, and he's somebody that, man, the run blocking is getting better, the pass protection is starting to show up, and then I swear that guy, it's like, man, when you need a play in the pass game, just kind of, he's where he's supposed to be. He shows up, he makes the play. It might not always be the cleanest catch, but he catches and he makes it, and so I like him, man. When you know, my vision for a wide tight end is him. I mean, that type of player, you know, that can mix it up and do the dirty work, but he can make a tough catch. He's got to be able to catch in traffic. He's got to, you know, when you need it, he's got to be able to kind of play big boy ball. So I like where he's going. I like his progression.
Or maybe just generally at that position, given your experience, he came out with a reputation as a good blocker, right? And he plays at a big-time school where he faces top competition, then struggles with it as a rookie. So why is it so difficult for tight ends, in particular young tight ends, that transition, that blocking element? Where does it, I guess, why is it so difficult to make that jump no matter where you play at the college level?
Yeah, well, I think it's the type of athletes you're going against, for one thing. And I would say most tight ends lack length relative to the guys they're blocking. You know, a lot of times if you're playing most of these defensive ends now, they're, you know, 280 pounds and they have 35-inch arms, 36, and you're probably, if you're lucky, you'll have 34-inch arms. That's if you're lucky. Most tight ends are probably 32-inch arms. So the length is already, you don't have the size, you don't have the length, and so, man, if you're not perfect with your technique to get into them, you're going to struggle, you know, and it'll be hard to get movement, and so it takes a ton of fundamental work, you know.
With Aiden, what would be your expectations following his first preseason game now, going into this week, and then going into Indy?
For Hutch?
Yep.
Yeah, just continue to progress. Let's see what's next. You know, we've said it every day he's been here. He's just improved a little bit more each time, and you know, he got in the game and did some good things. Now, let's see how he does against these guys. These are good players now. He's going to be going against. So let's see what happens out there.
Another thing on the gym practices, can you just explain that? You know, why you picked them? You know, was there, like, they run the ball, they're really running team, they run it different than the Falcons. I don't know, was there something to that? You want to see that run game? Is it just
Honestly, I think for me, what I was looking for more than all that right now, that definitely pops into your head like, man, this will be good to get us something different, a different look than what we're used to. But I think more importantly, you want to trust the partner you're working with, and I have a ton of respect and a really great relationship with Frank Reich and Chris Ballard. I've known them for a long time, and I just think they do it right. And they're like we are in terms of, man, we're going to do this the right way, and we'll be able to work together and get great work out of this and be smart about what we're doing. So I think that's the most important. You go somewhere, and if you don't know exactly what they're thinking or what they're doing and you just go, I think that's where you can get the all-out brawls, and then you spend hours just breaking up fights or fighting, you know. And I'm too old for that. I don't feel like doing that anymore. So, what's that?
How do you know Frank?
I just know him through the league, man. When I had a chance to, I guess, re-interview or interview for the head job at Miami full time, you know, he was one of the first guys I called. He was at the Chargers, and he was in, you know, things that kind of transpired out there for them. I mean, hell, he had the number one offense. But it wasn't able to keep the job, and so I called him. We talked for a long time, and I just knew from afar. I had a lot of respect for what he did, what they ran, and then we just kind of talked through over the years. You know, I interviewed for the Colts job with Ballard, and certainly Frank got that job. But we talked about, you know, so I've just known him a long time. You know, kind of through the grapevine, and just have a ton of respect for him.
Your kickoff return fell. Godwin did it last year, did it pretty Is it because you know what you got in him, or is he kind of drifted out of that mix for you guys?
No, because we know exactly what he is, and we feel like, and that's a good thing. We know what he can do. We know what he's capable of. Now let's get a look at some of these other guys. That's why we wanted to get a look at Trinity and see if there's anything else in this building that can do some of that stuff. Same deal with punt return. That's why we didn't use Leaf. We know what Leaf can do, and so let's see if somebody else can do some of this stuff. We did. We really did.
Just an injury update. We haven't seen Jason been out there for a while. Is he someone that you expect to be ready by week 1?
It's tough to say. It's tough to say right now. It's certainly going a little longer than we anticipated, but it's hard to say. I mean, I think it's highly unlikely we see him at Pittsburgh. So what is that window? That's the best way to probably just to say it, Jeremy. Ankles.
Okay.
And Levi, you expect him to play?
Same thing. He's we're going to keep a number of guys back this week who we know won't be ready to practice, and just continue to treat them, get them ready, and see if we can get them going for Pittsburgh next week or that week of practice. So they all kind of fall in the same bucket. I don't really have a timeline on him.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.